What is up, YouTube? Welcome to my final account update video about the tournament account. If you want to just see my builds for the tournament, you can skip to the moment that I'll write in my description and most probably in my comments. But if not, you can hear my yap right now as well. Unfortunately, I did not win the tournament, but I did manage to reach top 16, which is pretty nice. The rundown of it is day 1 and 2, with the 6 Swiss rounds, I only lost 2, and my only 2 losses were versus the guy who got second place right now, and versus another guy who reached top 16, and both had like 5 wins and 1 loss. And do you know what happened in round 1 of top 16? I faced one of those guys. Can you guess who? The guy who got second place. So I am probably the only one in the tournament who can brag, I guess, about losing to the number 2 of the tournament. I'll provide a link to his channel somewhere too, probably in my description. His Discord is MagiXT and his account was called Mermaid. So kind of unfortunate matchmaking for me, but what can you do? Well, outside of that, I will now, before showing my builds, also tell you about what has my general strategy been for the whole tournament. Basically, I was following hyperlink missions and doing everything in them as fast as I can, as soon as I can. And outside of that, the stamina that I have used that wasn't for the missions, as soon as I unlock a new threshold of shells, I would go and farm like 2 that are the most useful in my opinion. So for example, when it was like purple and blues, I farmed up like one of these and one of these, as much as to like max them out, like just one of each of these 2. After that, when I unlocked the yellow shells, I completely didn't max out Kuro, I just did the 10 mission. Here I maxed out a Black Fang and a Twilight Knight. After that, on Whitney I skipped because there wasn't any shells that I thought were useful. Nikunana I farmed until I got a maximum White Fang and like decently, like I think I didn't max my Gigabyte, but for sure I maxed, like I stopped after I maxed White Fang and had a decently leveled Gigabyte. After that, Sharon I farmed until I got a maxed Supernova, then I completely left it. Like this is when I had only Hell mode unlocked. Hoyan I maxed out 1 Jacko, 1 Revelation, and then I stopped farming Hell. And finally Rengoku. When I unlocked Rengoku, I made sure to max out 1 Codex and 1 Bat. That is when I stopped farming Hell Rengoku. After doing that, the next thing that I unlocked was Inferno Nikunana. And it was the only Inferno that I could do on auto. I could beat Hoyan as well, but because Nana was the only Inferno that I could do, I was dumping all of my stamina into it. At one point, I was able to manual Sharon, and I manualed the Inferno Sharon 10 times because of the mission, but after that I haven't touched Inferno Sharon a single time. Like after those 10 wins Inferno Sharon, I completely abandoned it. Then I was manualing Inferno Hoyan because I was being stingy and didn't want to max Obo S3, which I now kind of regret because I ended up maxing it anyways, so I could have saved myself from a lot of suffering if I did it earlier. But oh well, you live, you learn. After that I unlocked Inferno Rengoku, and on the day that I unlocked Inferno Rengoku, I managed to first force a manual which was a pain in the ass. Like I used Ditting, Plume, and I believe Green Sanya and Doki Doki. I'm not sure. But I forced a manual. No, it was before I got Doki Doki. I was using something else, but I can't remember. Maybe it's gonna be on my profile, which I'll show all of my profile clears in a bit, like after I'm finished explaining this part. But yeah, after I got an auto on Rengoku, which was really slow though, I was setting up, I think 8-minute runs, but I was dumping all of my, like, through the entire day I do 10, no, actually I can only do 5 Rengoku. So I set up a 5, check in 40 minutes, set up a 5, and I did this for 3 days until I finally managed to get 3 Inferno Codex, one of which was Swift, Immune, and Swift, which was pretty good. I maxed out 2 Lighthouses, but in the tournament I ended up not able to, like I didn't have any situation where I wanted to use Lighthouse. I honestly thought there would be more Cleave and CC, not so much turn 2, and I was thinking to use the Lighthouse for that, but I ended up only matching versus turn 2 players and 1 turn 1. You're gonna see in the videos that I post later. But yeah, this was all I was doing until the X2 came. When the X2 came, I started farming mainly Aurora. I was doing, like at first I was just doing Thermaton, Doki, Aurora, like for the hyperlink missions, you know, like it was do 10 of Hell 2, do 10 of Hell 3 and stuff. I did all of those missions on Inferno. I was doing it on X2 Inferno. So I was also getting the stamina pots from the missions, and I ended up using a lot of stamina. Once I finished the final mission, I completely stopped touching Thermaton, and I was just going Aurora and Doki Doki, and I mainly focused on Aurora. Doki Doki was my secondary. I had autos, but I think the Doki Doki win rate was around 60 to 80%. The Aurora was 80% win rate, but if I was stingy on lattice investments at the start, I ended up skilling up some skills that if I skilled them up before the X2, I could have probably had 100% win rate Aurora. But as soon as the X2 ended, I did not touch a single threshold module drop. I farmed a little bit of XP, which I thought it wouldn't be enough, but thanks to the Rally and Ember Trek XP and events, it ended up being enough, like, for what I needed. GP, I also, I farmed around 1k blue of each, 2k of the elements that I thought that I would invest more units into, but I would have been short unless I did what I did. You know how the Zyada event had, like, blue boxes? I ignored the premium rewards, and I spent probably like 90% of my currency to get blue GP box currencies, because from my main account, I learned that going for, like, even if you farm a lot of GP in the X2, you end up low on the blue GP material. So I invested in that. From the Union, I used the currency on the last days to max out coins because I was extremely limited on that. Before that, I was maxing like all rewards that I can. But for example, this lattice, I have 0 shards in my inventory. Even if I buy it, it would be a waste. What else is there? Yeah, after I reached level 100, I was immediately able to manual Inferno Chloros, and after like experimenting for a day, I mean, it wasn't the entire day experimenting, I think I experimented for like 100 stamina until I finally found an auto, which was 2-minute speedrun with just ditting, but it wasn't 100% win rate. Like sometimes I would get 4-4, sometimes I would get 5-3, and some really rarely, but sometimes I would even go 2-6, which was kind of annoying. And Reaper was the show that I wanted the most, and it was the one that I ended up getting last. Well, without further ado, it's time I finally show you guys my loadouts that were my final loadouts for the PvP tournament. These are the stuff that I had when the top 16 started. So first we have Lilith. These are her stats. Investments 155. I actually pulled her from the target banner. I didn't have her naturally. I just felt like my main account doesn't use Lilith, but from the buffs it felt like she's crazy good, and I really thought that people will not be able to deal with CC, but I was proven wrong because the enemy that beat me had like perfect anti-CC setups. This is my Tiamat. I bought one dupe from the shop and put these investments. At first I thought she's gonna be my main thing on the account, but I don't think she ended up that useful for me. Lily is my peak speed unit. I could increase her speed to 338, but I would have to throw away an effect accuracy piece from my CC units. So I kept her at this speed. Linglu I used to use on Alicorn, but because my enemy was on CC for the top 16, I prepared a lighthouse build so she can help me versus him, because he had like a Rahu and I didn't want my Linglu to get like killed too fast. Holden, I was running him Amber Holden because, as I said, I expected more CC on the tournament in the first rounds, but I end up switching him to Artisan because, again, like my enemy wasn't CC. Nohor, he is someone that I haven't played on my main, but like his skill set seemed so good against turn 2 players, so I decided to try him, and he felt so good that I even went and chose his skin on the free skin choice, so that was nice. Plume, I really think that if I didn't get her early, like if I didn't have Plume, I would be struggling a lot more in the PvE content. Like this unit is just insane. Most people run her on BB, so that she's a turn 2 unit, but I wanted to use her as a turn 1, like, since I'm going to use her in my CC team, I wanted her to be like, even if I put her on Bloodbath, if the enemy gets a turn when I'm playing CC, I will probably just die anyways, so I went full speed. Sanya used to be Amber for me. I couldn't pull a good Gigabyte, but also her healing after the bug fix has been feeling shit, so I ended up switching her to Supernova. Ditting, I was hoping again as a top secret tech to counter CC enemies, but again, I only faced turn 2, so he was just sitting there completely useless. Obo, I was kind of wondering if I should even max his S3, because I didn't really think to be a CC player. At first, I wanted to be a turn 1 player, but my pulls were making me be a turn 2 player, but then my pulls shifted from a turn 2 player to CC, so I went through a lot of identity crises in this tournament, and ended up just playing hybrid tanks and CC. And I didn't have any good healers. I really overestimated how much SR Lattice they give us. I thought I could build Makoto and Ryaki, but they're just sitting 1-1-1 uninvested in my box. Doki Doki I pulled from the LD selector, like the one free ticket. I should have, in hindsight, went for Mio, but I wanted Doki Doki to be able to beat Rengoku, but someone beat Rengoku with my exact team, but Vice instead of Doki Doki. So I kind of fucks myself up because in the tournament I didn't get a chance, like no CC players, to run Doki Doki. And in Rengoku, I could have just used Vice instead of Doki Doki, but yeah, quite disappointing. Viper, I just built so I can maybe steal it from the guy I was facing in top 16. Like, I already had him built 555, but I didn't have him equipped. But I actually got destroyed by a DPS Viper in the previous rounds from the guy who beat me in top 16, so I built him just in case as a steal. Aya is my kind of pride and joy, but completely ended up being useless for me, even though I got these 2 rolls in my last currency of training data. I was rolling like 3 million data on the last day. I had purple speed and dauntless purple. And in my last 2 rolls, this became 20 speed and this became 52 insight. And I was like, holy shit, I'm cooking. But again, I didn't face a CC player, so completely useless. Freya, I ended up pulling on the last day of the tournament. Like, not last day, on the first day of the tournament. Like, the last day when the tournament was starting. And I had enough lattice because I was prepared to... like, if I pulled a new Rouse Ray Mary or whatever, I was prepared to 6-star her, max level her, and give her at least 4 lattice. I had, I think, 9. So I had enough to give the skill to level 4, but I gave the other 5 lattice in other places. And I was making her faster, but right now she is running a non-inferno show because I only managed to pull 1 Swift Jackal, which was quite depressing. This just because I could equip it, it's equipped. This is just in case an extra identity crisis. This, I ran out of modules, like I couldn't equip him better, so I didn't even end up using him. Ray Mary, I did not want to be a CC player, so I did not invest in her, but I had 4 purple lattice, so I was like, okay. They pre-banned my Nuhor, and I was fucked. What if I build her and use her in case Nuhor is banned? But it didn't end up working out, sadly. But yeah, these are all of my character builds that I used for the top 16. And these are all of my shows with their passives. As I told you, like, I have been farming max stamina refresh. I think I missed only 1 day of max stamina refreshing. But every other day I was max stamina refreshing and using everything into shells outside of the X2, where I used it into modules. But I only maxed pre-gemmed 1 day before X2 because I didn't want to waste stamina. Even though I'm getting more value in farming modules, I felt like it's better to not waste stamina so I don't lose XP and I have the edge to reach level 100 earlier. And as you see, it resulted in getting 2 Reaper steps, which was nice. I had these 2 Reaper steps on the first day of the tournament. Actually, like, this one was not Inferno on the first day of the tournament. On the second day of the tournament, I made it Inferno. On the first one, it was like this one. And the Tiger Yin, who ended up being useless. But yeah, that's all of my shows. That's my builds, and yeah, cleared all of this. Cleared rally, cleared trek, number 1 here. Rosie actually caught up, which was damn. I thought I was the only one good enough for that at least, but I'm not special even in that now. And what else was there? Oh yeah, Master and RTA. Currently my main is also Master, so I really didn't expect this to reach Master. But the reason I was winning in RTA is because I could go first pick Lily, then Tiamat, and everybody thinks, oh my god, this guy is a bruiser. I'm gonna just go Rahu, Holden, and just pure bruiser him back. And then suddenly ban protect Nahor, Obo, and Lilith, and they're just fucked. That's how. But in the tournament, because of the videos, 90% of people knew I have Nuhor. Some of them pre-banned Nuhor. Some of them after losing round 1 banned Nuhor and I got fucked. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I will be posting my matches, but without commentary. Like, they were completely silent, so I will probably put some YouTube music in the background. And yeah, I think that's it. Overall, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna play Etheria. Devs are still shit. The game is starting to be less fun. But getting top 16 in full free-to-play account was fun. Outside of having to spend so much time and effort, like, I am never again doing a new account challenge or whatever, or tournament, or yeah. But yeah, overall. Oh yeah, wait, I almost forgot to show the teams that I used for the final Inferno. So if anyone is struggling and wants to see what I was using, here. Okay. Like, the Lilith hard carried me in later um, asyncs together with Nahor, especially when it was not dotable. Like, when it's dotable, I just go pure dot. When it's not dotable, I go pure CC with Lilith as DPS. And when it's not CCable and not dotable, I have no clue what I do. I just try to adapt as I can. And yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.